code that we write might not be as simple as, if the denominator is 0, tell them it's invalid, otherwise go ahead and do the operation. Sometimes we have more complicated code that we might want to write. So let's look at this code here. We're starting off with I equals 10, and then we're checking, is I equal to 10? The answer is yes, the answer is true. And so we come here and we say, okay, well, we know that it's 10. Now we want to check if it's less than 15. Well, we know it's 10 already, right? But here I'm going to say if 10 is less than 15, then I'm going to say I is smaller than 15. Otherwise, if it's less than 12, I'm going to say that. So I have here an if statement, and then I have another statement that I want to check. And so let me show you an example of this nested if statement before we go and talk about the next one. So here, for example, let's say I asked the user for how many hours they worked. So if it's between 0 and if it's not between 0 and 40, I'm going to tell them that it's invalid. Otherwise, I know it's between 0 and 40, so I want to do some extra checks. So I'll say, for example, if hours is less than 10, system.out.println, try to work more than 10 next week. Okay, it's not less than 10, so let's check if hours is less than 20. I'll say system.out.println, 20 is a good number. Try to reach that. Not less than 20, that means it's greater than 20. So then I can say, for example, if hours is less than 30, system.out.println, good number, else system.out.println, try to relax a little. Okay, so I have now several if-else statements like inside of each other. So if they enter like a number that's greater than 30, let's say 38, it's going through and checking if it is it less than 10? No. So it's going to go to the else. And then here it has another check to do. Is it less than 20? No. So it's going to go to the else. Is it less than 30? No. So it's going to go to the else. And finally it says try to relax a little. So here, this is an example of a nested if statement. Okay, you're calculating your grade is something like this. I would come and I would check, is the grade greater than 90? If it is, I'll give you an A. Otherwise, I'll go and check, is the grade greater than 80? If it is, I'll give you a B, and then I have to do another check. Now, this nested, if you see how it's like slanted in like this, it's like slanted in. And the more conditions I add, the more tough it's going to be. Keep getting like more and more slanted in. It's diagonal. This is code that is hard to figure out what's going on in. It's not code that you want to be writing. It's not code that you want to be looking at. And so in Java, there is the concept of an if-else-if statement. If you have more than 2 choices, and there are basically more than one test that you want to do, and those are independent from each other. So kind of like the grade. Your grade is independent. You know, there's only one possibility that you're going to get for the grade. Here in this code, there's only one possibility for what their hours was. Okay, you only want to tell them one of these messages, either invalid or try to work or 20 is good or good number. You only have one option that you really want to show at the end. In that case, you can use something called an if-else-if. And the way it looks is you start off with a test, your first test that you want to do. So here I'm checking, is the grade less than 60? If it is, I know that it's an F. Otherwise, I want to do another check. So instead of doing the else and then opening a brace and putting all the ifs inside, what I'm saying is immediately next to the else, do another test. So I put the word if, and then I have a test. So if it's not less than 60, the next thing that I want to check is if it's less than 70. If it's not less than 60, then I know it's 60 or more. Then I'm going to check, well, I know it's 60 or more. Is it less than 70? So is it between 60 and 70? If it is, it's a D. Otherwise, I need to do another check. Is it less than 80? If it is, C. Otherwise, is it less than 90? Then it's a B. Otherwise, it must be greater than or equal to 90. Then it must be an A. So an if-else-if is a lot cleaner to write and look at than a nested if statement. Okay, so this is the end of this class. So what I want you to do is do something similar to this code where we're talking about someone's grade. You are going to ask the user for 3 test scores. You're going to create 3 variables, and I want you to use floats so that it matches HackerRank's output. You're going to ask them for 3 test scores. You're going to display their average, similar to one of the slides earlier, and then you're going to display the letter grade. So your code is going to ask them, enter test score number 1. By the way, here it's showing you all of them like this on one line because that's what HackerRank displays to you. But you're going to say enter test score number 1, and then you're going to read in the first score. Then you're going to print enter test score number 2, and you're going to read in the next score, and so on. Then you're going to display the average, and you're going to display the letter grade that is associated with it.